Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Oscar Buzz, and it is time for some movie reviews. We haven't
Yeah.
done these in a while.
No, we've
Mostly
been
because
busy
of
with
the Oscars.
awards reactions exactly, yeah, but we're
Yep.
back into it. We're back into it now.
We're back in movie reviews. We'll be doing movie reviews all throughout the year. We're going to try to get more consistent with doing movie reviews. It was just impossible during the Oscars season because we were busy because it was the Oscars, and that is what we do on this channel. But we do like doing movie reviews, so we're going to be catching up on everything really that's came out in March so far.
Yeah,
So,
or at least the
okay,
big sequels so far,
the big,
because
yeah, the big
they're all
movies.
sequels. They're all sequels.
Yep. Just the state of cinema. Not all of them are bad.
No,
No,
actually,
there's
yeah,
movies here. So we were talking about Creed III, Scream 6, and Shazam. Those are the order they came out. And we can just talk about them in that order.
yeah.
Creed 3. Thomas, will you have opening thoughts?
I will say this shows that Michael B. Jordan is a competent director and actually quite a
Yep.
decent one. This film does have a little bit of a visual flair, more so I would argue than even Ryan Coogler's Creed films, which is interesting. I did not expect that going in. And I mean, he's well adapted to his character at this point. No issues with performance. JohnathanMajors, also very good. He's clearly a talent. He was the best part of Batman.
Oh, God.
He's one of the best parts of this film as
Amazing in
well.
Magazine Dreams.
Yeah, and I really do like the dynamic between these two. I thought going in it was going to be a bit, conceited, like, oh, really? This is just this long lost friend who went to jail. Like, are we really doing this? But actually, their dynamic was sold well, and I do think that is due to the performances, which were good. All the boxing stuff, like, it's not really I don't go to a film to see action generally,
Right.
but the boxing stuff is good.
Well done.
It's well done. The final fight scene has the sort of emotional points that you want. It's got the action there. It is tense throughout. Like, you do question who's going to win. Obviously, you expect Michael B. Jordan to win, but this franchise has done
No spoilers.
twists
No
in the
spoilers.
past. I mean, it's been out for 3 weeks.
Fine, spoilers. Yeah, Michael Jordan.
Yeah, everyone's seen Creed. Everyone's seen Creed 3. With Shazam, we'll stay away from spoilers. Everyone's seen Creed 3. Or at least everyone who wants to. And yeah, like, I respected this film. There was actually a lot to like in it. The story was at times a bit conceited, but it's a Creed film. Like, you're not going in expecting. It delivered exactly what it wanted to. So
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
It's a boxing movie, and I think it works well. Like, I think all of the tension between the characters works. I think it develops his relationship with Tessa Thompson well, and the relationship with his daughter well. I don't it doesn't really go really that far with characters. Like, all of the character arcs are very kind of obvious and simple and almost like drawn out at points, because it's very clear where it's setting up these characters to go. And it's like, okay, can we get there now? Like,
the problem is with the trailer, with the marketing, we knew that this was like JohnathanMajors being the final, I guess, villain.
Yeah,
it was not a surprise. Therefore, a lot of the journey to get to there was just a bit like, okay, can we get a movement, please?
Yeah, like, I do think it has some pacing problems in the opening act, just as well as like the other fighters and stuff. Like, I feel like it's trying to do a bit too much thematically and trying to pull too many characters together. I think some emotional beats get lost. Some of the stuff with like his mom and stuff. I don't think it entirely pulls everything together in that respect, but that final fight sequence, Jesus Christ, that was like incredible. I mean, there's a moment where like you kind of like black out everything around them and you have it just them, and like how it uses, like, it's so many like close-ups on their hands and stuff. Like, it's shot in a very, very different way. It's a different cinematographer, obviously a different director. Like, it's a different technical team than the first two, and you can definitely tell it's shot differently. But there's just some like beautiful shots like moving from like shoulder to shoulder with them and stuff. And it's so good. It's so well done. And that honestly bumped up my score a little bit. Like, just those final moments are great,
because they're the most important moments in these sort of Creed/Rocky films. Yeah,
like, I was worried that, like, because like it's very derivative, obviously, and it's very repetitive, but like it still works. It
works. Yeah, my one sort of major flaw is I still don't think this franchise completely has the confidence to stray away from the Rocky roots. Like, there's still all of the beats that exist in the Rocky films are still here, and I feel like some of them we don't need.
Didn't fight in this.
We don't need a training sequence. I'm sorry, I know it's part of it, but it's just like, again, really, this is the same thing I've seen. It's doing nothing different. So, and like, it just feels like it's still a bit connected to this Rocky franchise, whereas I feel it could now just completely go its own way. And I feel like bringing in a director like Michael B. Jordan, who clearly wants to have this sort of visual, sort of more artistic direction. Like, I just let him do it. I don't think we need this sort of constant.
Was beautiful. There's this one thing where
exactly, there is a direction there. There is a vision there. I just don't know if it was able to be fully realized because of a lack of confidence of just this franchise within itself. Because it is a different franchise to Rocky. It's not the Rocky franchise. So
the screenplay is the problem. It's not the directing or the performances.
No, 100%.
So yeah, overall though, it's a strong film. It doesn't overstay its welcome. As you said, the performances are all strong. Again, there's definitely some muddled plot points, I think.
Yeah,
transition from the first act to the third act, there's this weird second act period where nothing really is necessary, I guess.
No, and I do think the transition from Act 2 to Act 3 is very quick. Like, Michael B. Jordan decides he's going to fight Jonathan Majors' character. Like, and then it just happens.
Everything between the first act and the third act is like kind of weird.
It does seem to lose its way a bit.
But I think the emotional payoff is still strong enough where I can forgive it a little bit.
Agreed.
Overall, I would say I liked it. As far as awards potential, nothing. If anything, this just helps Jonathan Majors potentially get his nomination for Magazine Dreams as like a year nomination, but it's not going to be an awards contender in any way. Maybe Michael B. Jordan for DGA first time feature.
Potentially, I could see that, and it would be worthy. It would be worthy, yeah.
It's a very good first time feature, as we said. The problems with the movie that I have are really just in the screenplay. It's a really, really well directed movie. So, yeah. Okay, what's your rating?
I'd be probably looking at a 7.5, maybe 7.5 in that range.
I'm going with the 7 as well. I did like this movie more than I was expecting. It might be my favorite of the movies. It's close between this and the first Creed. But
I'd say the first Creed is probably slightly stronger film overall. I do think the emotional connection between Rocky and this Creed character, that was really what sold that film. And I don't think there is quite something like that in this one, but it's definitely up there. It's definitely
really
up there.
Close. It's really close.
Yeah.
It's a very, very strong film. Okay, let's talk about Scream 6.
Okay.
Listen. I didn't hate it. This is a very stupid movie.
It is. I think if you get wrapped up into the stupidity, I think it's not bad. It's not bad.
The screenplay is very goofy, but I'm fine with that. The Scream movies are supposed to be goofy. There are definitely some moments where things just happen because things are supposed to happen, and I'm just like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Because it's very silly. Like, there's an entire sequence with a ladder that
but it's a Scream franchise, so it's you come to expect it.
Movies.
Yeah,
the first Scream is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love it. It would make my top 100 probably of all time. Like the first Scream film. I love the first Scream. I think it's a brilliant screenplay. I don't think anybody else, any film else has lived up to that. I think the entire Ghostface reveal and villain reveal at the end is kind of unearned.
I think that is the weakest aspect of the film, which is quite a big flaw when the whole film is building up to that. But when you introduce a character,
the Jamie Lee Curtis meme. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. When you introduce a character following this archetype, I'm not going to spoil who the killer is, but you're introducing a character like this, you do just sort of think, oh well, you're probably going to end up being the killer, aren't you? And you'd be right.
So too meta at points.
It does, and that is what seems to be a consistent problem with. They just seem to be a bit too meta. I get it. They're supposed to be silly, but kind of stop. You need to stop just making fun of this film. It's sort of a similar problem with the MCU right now. They seem to be making fun of the films they're in rather than making fun of, I guess, the history behind them. So
these are actually fun.
These are a lot more fun. They are a lot more fun than the MCU, but I still think there is a problem which is growing, and I feel like will continue to grow the more and more reviews we get, and that is that the films are making fun of the films that we are watching.
Because I feel like Scream 7, they're going to go to Hollywood if they're mirroring the original trilogy.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
We'll see. But I do think what really helps these movies is it's rooted in an actual kind of well-developed bond between Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega. There's this final moment where they have an exchange and stuff, and it's the entire I guess bond and the metaphor and what they're building up for with them is it's very obvious, and you know
Yeah.
exactly what they're doing the entire time. But it does work. Like Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barr are good actresses, and they're able to sell this pretty well. I mean, there are some pretty like well done tense sequences. In like the store is one that I can specifically think of. I thought was very well done. Ghostface with a gun, like there are well done scenes. It's a lot of the same thing over and over again.
It is, but that's the problem with every single slasher film. So
Exactly.
I feel like that's
it's
just
incredibly repetitive.
Yeah.
So like I don't really care about like, oh, interesting and creative kills. I don't really.
No, that's never been something I'd come to.
Like
these
it's
films
not my type of genre typically. I really like Scream, and that's really about it as far as like slasher movies. Like I like Pearl, but I don't know how much you can call that a slasher film.
Yeah, and even
so,
that,
like,
I thought the weakest aspects were when it leaned heavily into the slasher genre. Yeah.
So I don't know. It kind of works. There's a weird letterbox mention, which is kind of funny. But like overall, like I did, like I liked it. I had fun with it. I would watch it again if it was on. I think I preferred it to Scream 5.
Really? See, I disagree because I think it lost a bit of what made Scream 5 novel. Like Scream 5 was allowed to say a lot about reboots, horror reboots, these sort of horror requels, or I guess whatever you want to call them. Whereas this felt like it had less to say about the current state of horror films just because it's just another entry in a franchise. Because I feel like the first Scream and then Scream 5 had a bit more to say, I guess.
I feel like Scream 5 was very flat, though. Like, I feel like Scream 5 was even more derivative. I think that this was at least attempting to do something interesting. Like, it felt more separated from the other Scream films, I guess. Like, whereas the Scream 5 just felt like it was very much, this is a reboot. And I don't think saying, oh, but this is a reboot and we're doing a reboot necessarily excuses a lot of the flaws of it being a reboot. I think they're very close.
Maybe.
I have them.
Yeah, I just felt that this felt a bit like, oh, another slasher film with, I guess, some of the Scream meta humor added on.
I also just really like Kirby. She's my favorite character in the franchise, and I love her in Scream 4.
So. Okay, yeah, fair.
But yeah, no, it was, I'm curious to see if what we're doing next with this franchise, because we are getting.
Yeah, I'm a little worried. I don't. Yeah,
I
because
feel like it kind of like.
Like when
I don't know what the build up is here. Like, where's the end goal?
Yeah, I would be more worried if I didn't have confidence that the people behind it clearly do have appreciation of not only the franchise but also horror. Like they've demonstrated that they really do care about the horror genre and they want to make their mark on it. So if they didn't demonstrate that, I would be even more worried. I would be even more worried. But
they're at least trying. Do I think
they're at least trying?
Gordon Green was trying with the Halloween movies? Man,
that's a comparison you can make. And personally made the Texas Chainsaw. Like I doubt they really cared about the horror genre or this franchise to a deeper level as these directors and producers or whatever clearly do.
It feels like they're trying, which I can appreciate. And I do think that Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega are very strong anchors for this film. So
yes, they do work. And it did help that we had this sort of already pretty developed relationship, because I don't think this film itself does much to develop that relationship, but it is already there. So
it does one thing.
It does. But like it is already there, so it did have an immediate jumping off point. I will say as well, the opening, pretty fun, as to be expected.
Yeah, no, that was actually
it's well done. Yeah, it's well done. It's well done.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, overall, no awards chances for this movie.
No.
But I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10.
I would be looking at a 6 out of 10 as well. I just think there are some problems that exist in it. It's a fun time, though. It's a fun time.
Yeah,
I can say that much.
All right. Time for me to talk about a movie. I'll keep it brief.
Yep. Which I've not seen for obvious reasons. Who would watch it?
So we watched Shazam Fury of the Gods. Rachel Zegler is innocent. She got her paycheck. Listen, this movie is so dumb. It is obnoxious. I can't handle what this film is doing. It is the most trying to make a joke every 30 seconds, and nothing is funny. Zachary Levi is terrible. There are some just insanely bizarre editing choices where like the flow from scene to scene is like non-existent. It's trying to balance like 3 different things at once as far as like where characters are and like different storylines, and it just doesn't work. Rachel Zegler, I honestly believe, gave the only good performance in the movie. Helen Mirren is completely wasted. I said racist.
I feel like you saying Rachel Zegler's giving a performance is like you saying Alexander Desplat gave a good score in The Lost King. I feel like you just want to like them, so you are. But that's fine.
Like Rachel
that's
Zegler.
fair. Hey,
Rachel Zegler, I love her.
Exactly. Like, do
Like,
whatever.
and
Say whatever.
You know, she gives the only good performance in this movie, which isn't that hard since she's acting next to rocks. But like,
Well,
it's it's mean.
Helen
Like,
Mirren is in this
Helen
film.
Mirren's in this, but she's wasted. She's given nothing. Like Lucy Liu's also in this. She does basically nothing aside from like ride a dragon, and even then, like I don't know. It's just it's a very stupid movie, and I understand it's a superhero movie, and like just what was the reason for this?
Yeah, that's a shame because David F. Sandberg seems like a nice guy.
He seems like a nice guy, and I want him to make good movies, but like,
yeah,
there was like nothing here. Like the screenplay was just objectively awful. Like there's absolutely nothing here for him to work with, and like I hope the best for him. Like he just needs to get away. Like Rachel, get away. Okay, please, I'm begging you, get away. You got your paycheck. Okay.
I don't think she was ever in for the first place. To be honest,
that's fair. But like, yeah, I don't know. It just nothing about this film works. I didn't find it fun. I didn't find it charming. It's just like things just happen for no reason, and a bunch of things just happen, and they aren't really set up or given an explanation for, or it just things. These movies, I can't. If you enjoyed it, I'm happy for you. I'm so done with superheroes.
Yeah, I'm not watching these TTU movies, to be honest. Not even for the channel. I can't bring myself to do it. Like, I'll watch The Flash when it comes out out of morbid curiosity for what the actual hell they're doing with that film. Like, that's very interesting. Like, that's going to be a very interesting film. But I didn't watch Black Adam. I'm not going to watch this. Like, completely checked out of this franchise.
Yep.
Oh, well, we'll see what James Gunn does. It's not going to be brilliant, I doubt. Who knows, though? Who knows?
Anyways, no awards chances. 2 out of 10.
Fair enough.
Anyways, those are reviews. So thank you everybody for watching Creed III, Scream 6, Shazam, The Fury of the Gods. We'll be doing more reviews, probably John Wick next week. Rye Lane in a couple weeks, which we're both very excited about. So plenty more reviews to come on the channel. More videos. Going to do a video on Jonathan Majors. And just the insane year that he's having. So lots of fun stuff to come on the channel in the very near future. But until then, stay safe, everybody. Goodbye.